Hi, this is Chrissy Trevino with Country Club Reception, and in today's video you're going to learn the truth about wedding venue pricing. One of the first things you're going to need to consider with venue pricing are food and beverage minimums. So the food and beverage minimum is something that a lot of people don't tell you about when they book. It could be a per person price point that they're giving you, but they're not necessarily telling you there's a minimum amount that you have to spend at that venue on that particular day. You want to make sure that you can afford the actual day you're picking. So Fridays and Sundays typically carry a lower food and beverage minimum, whereas Saturdays are more of a premium time. So if it's $40 per person, that's a great price point, but what you're not saying is that you might have to spend $12,000, and it's hard to get that to that amount with only spending the $40, which means that you're then going to have all these additional costs or things you're going to have to add on to your wedding to make sure that you get to that amount. So you want to make sure that on the total spend that you're going to do, that you can meet that amount with the amount of guests you have and then also the options that you want. Booking your venue within 6 months or less of your wedding could really help you with your costs, only because people start to reduce their minimums as the months go along. So if you're going to book your wedding a year out, the venue might not need to drop their price points. But as the date grows closer, let's say you can get married within 4 months, they're still trying to fill in those dates so you're able to get lower price points. Something you're going to want to consider inside your budget is tax and service charge on top of your food and beverage minimums. So not only do you have the amount that you have to spend, but just remember that when you're budgeting, you need to add in for that extra percentage. One of the great things about all-inclusive venues is they can offer you services like a DJ, a cake, and floral at more of a discounted rate. So it's something they can provide you inside the package. You're not having to go anywhere else in order to get it, but you want to make sure that you've checked out the vendors with inside that package. What they're not telling you at the beginning of that is that they've negotiated a price point with those vendors, so you might be getting less in your actual package, therefore you're having to upgrade things. So some of the hidden fees you might find for wedding venues are going to be things like a cake cutting or possibly security. You're going to make sure you check in with your venue to see if those are some of the costs that they don't include inside their packaging. So some of the issues with menus that you're going to want to make sure you consider when taking a look at wedding venues is, first of all, you're going to want to take a look at the style of service that you're going to do. It could be plated, it could be a buffet, or possibly small plate stations. And every venue is going to be different. So you're going to make sure that if you're wanting to go for a lesser expensive option, that you check whether or not the buffet is more expensive than the plated, which might be different from venue to venue. If you're looking for a less expensive way to do your wedding, you might want to consider doing a daytime wedding or a brunch wedding, which might lessen the cost for you. Whereas a dinner might start somewhere between $60 to $70, you could be looking more at the $40 to $50 range if you wanted to go during the day. The average American wedding for about 125 guests spends about $1,200 to $1,500 on consumption alcohol. So a couple of different options when you're looking at wedding venue pricing for the bar. It's always a large issue for people, but there really are a lot of economical ways for you to do it. You can bill on consumption, which means that you're going to pay for whatever your guests are drinking at the end of the night, which can be dangerous. Or you can look at doing a bar package, which means you're not going to get any surprises at the end of the night because you have a package price per person for the amount of time that you're going to be serving alcohol. So if they're going to offer you that first hour of cocktail, that's when they drink the most. So your guests are going to go immediately to the bar and have the most cocktails at that point. So covering that hour is probably the best tip I can give. During the second hour, if you can do something like wine with dinner, you're going to greatly decrease the amount of alcohol consumption that you'll have later on in the evening. The most important thing to do when you're shopping for a wedding venue and taking a look at pricing is to get as many estimates as possible. You want to see what you can do during the day, what you can do during the evening, off-peak times, maybe on a Wednesday. You want to see all of the different options that a venue can offer you to make sure that in any scenario, it still fits within your budget. It's really important to remain flexible when you're taking a look at wedding venue pricing. You're going to want to find a venue that fits your budget, but at the end of the day, this is one of the biggest days of your life. So you want to find a place that is going to give you all the package options that you want, have the setting that you want, but you still want to stay within reason. For more information on this or any other planning tips, please visit CountryClubReceptions.com. Hi, this is Chrissy Trevino with Country Club blah, blah, blah. So booking your let me start over again, not use them.
Yeah, keep using them, yeah.
Also, if you're trying to look for a more economical way, blah, 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 blah. I'll try to do my best to make that snappy. I'm excited too, so.
And we get to do.
For more information on this or any other blah, 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 do I need to do anything else?